Hey everyone, it's Ellen and welcome to my channel. So today I thought we'd do another watercolor practice using a very small brush, number 6 Velvet Touch series, long round, and create some nice delicate winter greens with this one. These greens would be perfect if you want to create something really elegant and pretty. It could be for a greeting card or invitation, or whatever that works for you. Of course, I go over this step by step and actually teaching you how to use this brush to maneuver it to create these really delicate leaves and stems and, you know, all that stuff. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section. Also, check out my Patreon. I have ad-free videos, traceables, exclusive tutorials, and a live stream in the top tier. It's just a place people go and support my channel, which I appreciate so much. So without further ado, let's get painting with our very delicate brush and making some nice, elegant winter greens. All right, so let's go over some supplies. I'm going to be using my number 6 long round Velvet Touch series from Princeton today. Arches 100% cotton hot press. That's the pink pad. Paper towels, water jars, and my paints. So this is an exercise on painting really delicate kind of greenery using a small brush, right? When you use smaller brushes, they're tighter. This is going to be a tighter kind of scenario painting. And so I thought I'd teach some of that. And it could be like winter greens, and you can add some reds if you wanted to, like red berries. Sometimes it's fun to do something tight. So I'm going to start with taking some burnt umber. Right here, mixing in some Paynes gray to make a deep brown. And we're just going to practice like using the flow of the brush, right? And why I like hot press, it just kind of sits on the paper. It flows easy. When you do cold press, you know, it takes more effort. It soaks up the paint. It's a little different. So here, we're just going to take our brush. I got it loose here, about milk consistency, maybe a little bit looser than milk, maybe like more like coffee. And we're going to take the brush and we're going to kind of move it like this. That's the tip. The first line, like that. I'll zoom in a little bit. Right? I'm going to get a little thicker my paint here. Same colors. And we're going to go back a little bit against that line. I don't want it too black. I want it more brown. Like that soft brown. I'm going to kind of crisscross over. See? Cross over. Cross back. And then same thing. Cross over. And cross back. And see how you have that delicate kind of branch. Crossing over. And that forms a nice delicate branch. From here, right, we're going to add in leaves. And it's just a press down, lift up method. Now I've mixed up several greens here. Bluish greens. You can add more brown to make it more of an olivey green. See, it's more olive here. So it's just yellow with various blues. I use Prussian blues. I use ultramarine. So here I'm just, again, like the coffee consistency. Get it on my belly of my brush. And now I'm just going to push down and lift back and pull back. We have the delicate light green. See how kind of delicate that is? Pushing and attaching it to that stem. We can do the same thing the opposite way. Like that. Push down and pull back up, lifting. Gonna do this here, the opposite way. You can kind of do this thing where you're like a normal leaf. You kind of go like this, and then fill it in. So if you want to do this way, like this, and like this, and fill it in, you can do that. And see, I'm leaving like extra on my brush. Extra on the paper, and it kind of has this, it starts to create a cauliflower edge. While this is still damp, you can try and bleed a little color in here. If not, if it's dried, that's okay. You can just go add some color. I'll go back over that leaf. You just have more control with this smaller brush. And I can add some more beautiful, delicate leaves. And once this part is dry, if you feel it's dry, you can crisscross the leaves over onto the stem. See how I crossed that one on top? And you can see like the colors coming through. These are delicate leaves. And I would do that again. I would do like another one here, crossing over here. You can get a little darker if you want with the leaves. Let's just start off light for now. And we can build to that darker leaf. Isn't that pretty? And then we can go on top of that and add other greens. So I still have, this is kind of a very, let's see if you see this color green, very bright. That's too bright. I'm going to add some brown to it. Take that brown that I had mixed here. So it's a deeper green, but it's a little duller. And we can add, take that brown again. I have some green over here. Umber. Let's make some like pine needles. Let's just kind of take this and kind of go here and cross over that. And then we'll take the green here. We're going to play around with a couple of greens. And you're just taking it from the center of the stem. Just these simple pine needles. Just little lines. They can be a little thick and thin. Kind of creating, going outward. And we're going to add a different color to this also. Very delicate. So I'm going to put the first wash of this color down. Very therapeutic to play with this brush. See how I'm just taking the lines and kind of connecting them. And then I'm going to go back in and take my yellow. And where's my Prussian blue? Make like a deeper blue green. A little brown. A little more brown. So much darker green. We could play with some more blue in there too. Oops. The real deepest, deep bluish green. Adding a little more yellow. There we go. I don't want it super dark, but I want it darker. And again, go in between some of those leaves. Oh, that's a little too bright. I'm going to go tone it down with my brown. See, I did one. I could also make it look brighter green too. I can add more yellow. I'm playing around with the different greens here. So I have the dark one, medium one, and I'll play around with adding in on top of that light one I put in, just right on top in between the white spaces. Just kind of filling that in, pine. We can add a little bit of this dark green too. Fill it in some of the spaces in between the pine needles. Just like that. Now at this point, I'm going to add some brown stem again. So I'm building this whole kind of greenery kind of look. Kind of bend over here this way. Put some little stems off of that. I'm going to start to add some deeper greens on that one. Take that deeper green color that I had mixed up and add some leaves. Bigger, fatter ones than the ones I did before. And because they're darker, I can go right on top of the light ones. They just move, they kind of glide on this paper. See, it's kind of puddling here. It sits on top, unlike cold press. So you can go right on top of those greens you just did. Kind of building up. Leave a little white space in between. If you want to start to grab, again, brown, deeper brown, and crisscross this way. I'm gonna add some greens to this one too. It'll be more of like a eucalyptus kind of stem. So it's a bluish green. I'm gonna add a little more blue. So I added some ultramarine blue to this one up here. And these are just like roundish petals, leaves. So you kind of go round. See, it's just sitting there. Round is kind of holding it and going sideways in a circle. This will be the first pass, and then I'll have some of them that kind of overlap in a bit. Can also make the stem come out this way, bend out this way. See the little teeny stems, and then you go back in and add another one that matches that. I got a little paint over here. Don't want that there. You guys just create these little circles. Just kind of, when you wait till this dries, and you can kind of go on top of the other one again. This one's a little bit darker. See, and you can add another little stem there. We're just going to keep building and building and building. Going to add another deeper green, kind of fun, delicate green going this way again. Cross over that one, just into dark green. And then have little ones coming off of that. Little branches. See these really delicate branches? And from those delicate branches, create little nibby 1, 2, 3 branch, 1, 2, 3 branches. And at the end of each little branch, I don't know if you can see those little tiny delicate branches. There you go. Took a little ball. So now we're doing really delicate work here. It's kind of beading up. You might want to remove some of the paint. You can always tap it on your paper towel. But really delicate. See, 1, 2, connect the little stem. That's why I'm using this tiny brush. And this takes time, but it has a really beautiful effect to it. Gonna crisscross on that one. And I'll crisscross over here, connecting. Just take your time connecting all these. But again, it's a beautiful look. So we have a lot of winter greens that are just delicate and pretty. And you can keep them in these colors. Or you can go ahead and add some red. Now, by the way, see how we have the first pass of that light green? You can go back in later and add just a nice little vein in them when it dries. So this is like intermediate leaves and stems. This is when you start to get a little more confident with your watercolor and build these really pretty, delicate greens and, you know, florals and stuff like that. So we're going to go back to that eucalyptus leaf again, and we can do one that's on top of each other once it dries. So you're just doing that round. Put another one on top. Can be more like oblongy, not just round. Put another one on top. You can put some line in the middle, kind of going like this. Simple shapes like that. I might go back out here and add another one out here. They're kind of all looking a little monotone to me. So I want to add even a deeper green. So I'm going to go back with this Prussian blue over here into these greens. Add like another winter. Oh, it looks a little too bluey. Bluey? I'm going to add some brown. So just going to go up like this. That's really deep. Add like a little stem, and it can be like evergreen, kind of really green coming off. See? The ones coming off, push down, and it gets a little thicker. Going right over the ones we just did. Take your time. I don't want it to look too loose. I want it more structure. And add a little greens like that. Again, just taking your time, filling that in. So now it's deeper and darker in there. It's kind of building my, I made a little boo-boo here, but hey, we'll fix that. How we'll fix that? I'll just paint over it. I'm just gonna go here and just make a simple leaf like it never happened. Right? And I'll crisscross and add another leaf. Have it connect with a little stem and add another leaf, and you never know the wiser that I had put a little splotch of paint there. Very delicate. Kind of like building like a wreath in a way, but not really. I'm gonna add some more brown twigs this way. So I'm kind of going like this. I'm grabbing my burnt umber. And I'll do some more deeper greens. Actually, I need like more of a yellowish green. So I have the yellow green here, mixing up on the side. You can see that. It's over here on the other side. You can't see that. There it is. So I added more yellow to some of the greens that I had. And let's play around with putting in some other leaves. Kind of roundish. Just going on top. Or maybe I just make them bigger and pointier. Playing around with. Can add just some simple long greens. See? Do crisscross it. Kind of flowing. And then I'll go back with my dark green. Go this way and add some like pine needles coming this way. We're just playing with the brush at this point. Going back and adding a stem here. Now I want to think about adding some berries somewhere. And since I'm in the greens and all that, I'm going to go back here, by the way. I feel like just one-sided in my whole picture. I don't want to make a wreath, but I do want to make it kind of complete. So I'm going to put another stem kind of out here. Crisscross, applesauce. I might add some blueberries. Not blueberries, but blueberries. So let me see, ultramarine blue. I don't know, play with brown. Blue again. It's kind of like a nice gray. Prussian blue. Let's play around with different blues. I don't know what kind of color I want. Bluish green. That might work. I'll go back to this green that we had originally. Gonna add a little yellow to that. So it's a bright yellowish green. And make some nice pretty simple leaves. Again, coming off this one. Just a variety of the green color. Now I have this in like my spring sketchbook. Those botanicals, kind of similar vein, but now we're doing winter. So it ended up being kind of like a wreath, but it can just be greens just everywhere, just on one side. Just really delicate, just pushing down this one little number 6 brush. See, pushing down slowly, pulling back up, and then crisscrossing. Simple. And here I'm going to add a couple little berries. So I'm going to take that brown, go back in here, a little bit darker with that Paynes gray. Add some nice stems in here. So we get some berries on the end of that. Oop! I just got paper towel in my water. Hilarious. Alright, here's that blue. Or I could just even use indigo. Any kind of blue you want. Just make a round blueberry. I did want to initially leave a little bit of white halo, so I missed that mark. I'll go back and fix that. Just round circle, leave a little white. If you don't leave any white, you can just always go back in with some gouache and fix it. See how pretty the blue is? Can add a little Payne's gray to that too, get it a little deeper, which I just did on the right hand side. You can see that up close. So little blueberries, not blueberries of the food, but and I'll just take a little of that Payne's gray, add it to that blue, add it to that right hand side. Just pops it up. Make a nice cluster of the blue. Isn't that pretty? You can do it in a couple of places, maybe do some down here. So before you do the stem, you can just do the berries. So I'm just taking the blue and adding some nice pretty berries down here. Just like that. I like to do things in threes usually. I'd probably add some berries over here, but I'm adding the stems now, connecting them with the brown. Voila. I'm gonna go back and add some brown, or you can add some gray too, blue. I'm gonna get this brown a little bit darker into this. We'll go right back over what I painted, kind of make them a little bit darker, and add some more leaves to it too. I'm gonna play around with this blue, maybe add some blue leaves. Why not? A little blue stem, some blue leaves. Crisscross over that green. Just playing with color. That kind of feels like it's balanced with the color. And we're doing all cool colors here. Going back to this green and kind of connecting it. Then I'm going to do some leaves that kind of cross over, bend and cross over each other. That's always fun because then it's like a layering. You see how it goes on top of the other one? Just like we did here. Layer it. Now I just have this lone pine needle, which I feel like it needs more needles here. It's just a lone guy hanging out. Let's add. Gonna get mixing up my greens and making deeper. Filling in this one here. Deeper green. It's not so alone. Going in here and adding the deeper green. It's kind of looking like one note. And I'm going to add darker brown going in here. So finish up my pine kind of down here. So it kind of connects a little better. And this is all you do with this kind of brush. You just practice with this little teeny brush. Playing, pushing down, lifting up, all that fun stuff. That's what it's all about. It's all about play. And I have that little delicate little greenery here that we talked about. And just really simple. And then you can go back into your eucalyptus and add those little veins. They're kind of like an oblong shape. And in this blue, go and add little veins. I think I'll add some little delicate greens here. See, little stems coming up here on this side. That delicate green again, just like these little balls that connect. 1, 2, 3. See, wiggle, wiggle. Very delicate. Has a really good really good. It has a beautiful look to it. Just wiggling it, taking a delicate little tip of the brush and pulling it down right on top of the other colors because it's darker. And look at that effect. Really pretty. So this is how you make a really delicate, winter greens using one simple brush. This is the number 6 long round. And just pushing and pulling, taking your time, twisting some of the colors. You can go back into the greens and add little veins to all the little leaves. And that becomes a really intricate, delicate, this is like perfect for, it could be like a wedding invitation, Just by changing up all the different green colors and playing with the paint. See, I'm gonna go over here and add little greens here just to finish this one up. Maybe make a little blue. I'm adding a little blue to the screen on this one. It's a little bit darker. And that's all you do. That's how you do. You play simply with this. Going in here. Voila. So, tell me if you like to do something really delicate like this. And all you need is this number 6. And usually I don't use a number 6, right? I use it for very minimal, but I like to use this brush, which you've seen me use it for my botanical sketchbook. It's very, very tight, pointy brush. So this comes in handy when you're doing really intricate work. And this wasn't really that intricate and really that advanced. It was just basically playing with the brush itself. Going back and adding the eucalyptus veins. And there, connecting. And that's it. And look at the look that it comes out. Very, very delicate. Really pretty. Gonna add one more element. Just kind of want to add a leaf. Really just delicate. Yeah. That's why I love playing with something like this sometimes. You just never know what you can create. Voila! And this was you don't need to draw it. You're just playing with the brush, twisting, turning, pushing down, pulling up, and you can create something really delicate and beautiful. So I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial. Take your time with the brush. This is the brush. I've said this often, that the brush and the paper dictate basically how this is going to go. So this paper, it just stays on top because it's hot press. The brush is tiny, right? It has a nice point. So it's gonna make your design have a more intricate, delicate nature to it, as opposed to one of those big brushes that I use to paint florals. It just lends itself to be, creating some delicate leaves or flowers with this. It's just the way it goes. You just push up. And that's why it's good to have a bunch of different brushes and sizes. So like the 8 long round could pretty much do this too, but this one's really tiny, so you get those little tiny brush strokes. I don't know, I just like playing with it. So I hope you enjoyed it. Play with your brush. It's always good to have a nice small brush, especially for the details, and you can create something really beautiful. All right, guys, thank you so much for stopping by my channel. I hope you have a fantastic day. Take care, and I'll speak to you soon.